In 1992, we will discover on Earth, everyone can hear you scream.
This never happened, of course. Alien 3 would go on to take place on Fury 161. In fact, the aliens never made it to Earth in any of the 6 Alien franchise films.
Because if one of those things gets down here, then that will be all. Then all this bullshit that you think is so important, you can just kiss all of that goodbye.
Is she right, though? Would the aliens be unstoppable if they got on our home planet? Well, it's happened many times in the Expanded and AVP universes, so let's take a look at those examples to see how Earth would fare in an alien invasion. The Aliens comics from Dark Horse would not disappoint in giving us alien incursions and full-out invasions. The first story in the timeline comes to us from Aliens Apocalypse, the Destroying Angels. Here, a Dr. Keitel of the Gilgod Institute learns that over 3.2 billion years ago, the aliens, or Destroying Angels, exterminated all life on Earth along with several space jockey ships. The Doctor would later work with Weyland-Yutani, where he'd discover files on the Nostromo mission that described an alien strikingly similar to the ones from over 3 billion years ago. Believing that they could be similar, over 100 comparisons were performed, leading him to the conclusion that they were essentially the same creature. There's no evidence of aliens on Earth immediately following this era, so we can assume that they died off when no viable hosts were left. But now, life has returned, and is reaching out into the stars, incurring the wrath of another wave of Destroying Angels. Next up, we have Aliens Earth Angel. Set in the 1950s, Earth Angel is a story of an unknown infected alien that crash lands in a small American town. When found by the locals, it has a facehugger attached, but unfortunately, they have no idea what it is. They try to help the alien, but its life is cut short when a chestburster erupts, leaving the host for dead and escaping in the chaos. The alien that grows from the burster is a Giger-type alien, but it's not like one that we've ever seen before or after, perhaps due to its host and/or alien strain. The alien matures quickly to its adult stage, where it turns out to be a queen. As queens do, she begins capturing hosts and starts to build a nest, but her hive building is cut short when she's hit by a car and killed in the explosion. The occupants of the car then work reluctantly with a biker gang to burn down the nest, killing off the last of the invading aliens. The army then arrives and collects the burnt up alien samples, and in a twist, we learn that the driver of the car just happens to be named Daniel Ripley. But my favorite and most expansive scenario of a xenomorph invasion on Earth is played out in Aliens Volume 1, 2, and 3, otherwise known as Outbreak, Nightmare Asylum, and Female War. Here the Bionational Group, not Weyland-Yutani, is able to acquire a queen xenomorph specimen. They've secured her in a facility on Earth and allowed her to mature, where they start using her to make even more aliens. That is, until a former employee, who is now a leader of an alien-worshipping cult along with his followers, breaks into the area housing the queen, offering themselves up to her as hosts. In the chaos, a few infected cultists are able to get away. With aliens now out in the general population, the takeover begins. The queens would grow and mature incredibly fast, faster than the initial one did, and each one would in turn make even more queens, speeding up the process. The various militaries and defense forces on Earth would try to destroy the hives as they were discovered, but eventually the aliens are just too much. Governments fall apart and military seize control. Vital services like water and power begin to fail. It soon becomes clear that they can't win, at least for now, and the plan is made to abandon the planet. The rich and powerful have new lives waiting for them on the outer colonies, but for everyone else, the ones left behind, it was chaos. In an attempt to stop the alien plague, Dr. Wadeslaw Arona would stockpile a massive amount of nuclear weapons in a mountain and at other strategic alien hive sites to try to wipe them out, but he was killed before they could be launched. In part 2 of the series, called Nightmare Asylum, we learn of a plot to train xenomorphs to use as an army to retake Earth from the existing aliens. The Xeno army is led by a mad General Spears, and the supposedly trained aliens are brought to Earth as a liberation force. But that training quickly fails when they turn on their handler, killing the general ending any hopes at an alien versus alien genocide type takeover. For Part 3, Female Wars, we see the return of Ripley, who works with Newton Hicks, or Billy and Wilkes, to capture a Queen Mother from the aliens' homeworld so that they can bring her to Earth. They hope that the aliens on Earth will gather to her, allowing them to use Dr. Arona's nukes to take them out. However, a space jockey who is in orbit around Earth disabled Dr. Arona's detonator and took all of the warheads from the fusion-type bombs. Luckily though, most of the nukes in the mountain were older fission bombs and were ignored by the jockey. So Ripley and her team leave the Queen Mother here, and then using those remaining bombs, they kill most of the aliens on the planet. But there are survivors. After this, several comics, some more loosely tied to this story than others, would show a world still dealing with the aliens left over from the Queen Mother bombing. There's The Alien, Music of the Spears, Crusade, and the Free Comic Day story tied to the Aliens More Than Human series. Looking outside of the alien universes, both Alien vs. Predator and AVP-R feature aliens along with predators on Earth. In AVP, the Predators have had a captive queen held in stasis for hundreds, if not thousands of years, kept in a pyramid buried near Antarctica, built as a hunting ground for young Yatja. Charles Bishop Whalen, the Whalen Industries founder in this universe, would lead a team into the pyramid, but the only survivor would be Lex, their guide. The aliens in the pyramid are destroyed in an explosion, but the Queen makes it out only to be pushed by Lex and the Predator into the freezing ocean waters, where she may or may not be still alive, possibly trapped in stasis once more. It should also be noted that this is only one of the many similar pyramids on Earth, and at least one of them was destroyed when aliens overran the Predators, wiping out the surrounding people and their city, explaining the fate of cultures that seem to disappear for no reason overnight. In the follow-up, AVP-R, immediately following the events of AVP, a Pred-Alien and several facehuggers would escape into a small Colorado town when the Pred-Alien attacks the Predator crew, causing their ship to crash. The aliens then manage to start a hive and begin gathering hosts from the area, but they are eventually wiped out by a tactical nuclear strike. And looking to more current news, the upcoming Alien series by FX is said to be set on Earth in between the Prometheus and Covenant missions. We've also been told that the series will feature the alien. This is definitely another opportunity for an alien getting on Earth. But as the series is set to be in canon with the main 6 franchise films, it's likely that any alien outbreak would be covered up or self-contained, so it doesn't interfere with continuity in the films. To learn more about alien encounters on LV-426 or on their homeworld of Xenomorph Prime, try out one of these videos. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.